Hello, and welcome to another edition of Pelham School District Today. Today I have captains of the Pelham High School track and field team, Morgan Pinkston and Kellen Bruder. And I also have the track and field coach, Don Mullen. So what I want to talk a little bit about first is if you can tell me a little bit about what is track and field.
Track and field to me is something that I can focus individually on myself and to improve myself as well as push my other teammates. And it just allows me to focus solely on my body and what my body is able to do. And I never thought starting last year that I'd be able to get through a full flight of hurdles in 17 and a half seconds or so, and it's really helped me get in shape. And
Okay, and you play other sports as well, right?
yes,
So what other sports do you play?
I play soccer.
Okay.
And track definitely helped me get in shape for soccer. I built a lot of muscle for soccer, and if I didn't start track last year, I don't think that I'd be able to play soccer in college just because I built so much muscle.
And you're
from
going to
track.
play soccer in college next year. Where's
Yes,
that?
LaSalle.
Great. Congratulations. So why do you do track and field?
Track with me is a whole nother push into an athletic field. It's different from any other sport simply because it focuses a lot on physical ability rather than teamwork with other players and a chemistry that you share with the team. Even though it's a team sport with team points, you have to focus on yourself as an individual and push yourself as an individual to be able to succeed with the team. And it's that kind of push that develops, as Morgan has said, your muscle and your ability to run at a higher pace, longer times. And I play soccer as well, and it's pushed me tremendously to become a better soccer player.
Great. Great. So, Mr. Mullen, I'm going to ask you, can you tell me, for those people that hear track and field all the time, what does that entail?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because I think it's a very misunderstood sport. A lot of people think track and they think running and distance running and they equate to cross country. We were kind of talking about that before we got started today. Track and field is really much more than distance running. Distance running is a very important part of it, but in spring track, there's only 3 distance events. The rest of the events all involve around sprinting, jumping, throwing, vaulting, that sort of stuff. So what I love about track and field is that it really works an athlete in terms of whole body and all different events, and we focus here at Pelham especially on building up those track and field events. Some of those field events, for those who might not know, are things like shot put, discus, javelin, pole vaulting. We have a wonderful pole vaulting team here at Pelham. Pole vaulting is the absolute hardest athletic event out there ever. High jumping, long jumping, these both long jumpers. We have a triple jumper here. So track is really much more than running, and I think I want the Pelham community and the kids at Pelham High School to know that if you come out for track, you do a lot more than running. You really do build the strength and that sort of stuff to succeed in your other sports.
So why don't you tell me a little bit, what you said you do 4 events. What 4 events do you do, Kellen?
I personally I vary depending on competition at meets,
Okay.
but my typical are triple jump, long jump, a 4x1 relay, which is with 4 other athletes, and a 4x4 relay, which is also with 4 other athletes.
That's all the way around the track. That one's
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
It's a punishing event,
Yes,
but it's a great sprint. It is a sprint.
It's a fun race. And
Yep.
that and then that will vary depending on certain competition. If say we at a meet where 4x4 is in our focus, then we'll change to, for instance, a 100-meter dash or something like that to score points towards the team.
Okay. And how about you? Whitney?
I do the 100-meter high hurdles, and then I do long jump sometimes, and the 100-meter dash, and then do the 4x100 relay.
Great. So the hurdles scare me. I think that I would always worry that I would trip and fall on my face. So have you ever fallen and totally skinned out your knees?
Oh, all the time. Your body just gets really tired, and all you want to do is get better. So sometimes you hit the track, but it only hurts for a little bit.
No scars.
No, yeah, I have some scars on my knees.
All hurdlers have scars. It's the
That's
mark
what
of a
I was
hurdler.
thinking. That's what I was thinking. So We've had quite a bit of growth in the track and field program over the past few years. So, Mr. Mullen, why don't you talk to us a little bit about what did track and field look like 5 years ago? in Pelham?
Yeah, I'm going to be direct. 'Cause I think Mr. Crest, the athletic director, would certainly support this. When we got here, it really was a distance-based team, and we've had some very good success in the. But it was really about the distance events. And it was probably about maybe 20 kids combined, both male and female, 5 years ago. The latest numbers right now, we started at 70. We're probably down to the mid-60s right now in our track program combined, boys and girls. But certainly we still have a very strong distance component. That's still a very big part of our program. But the high majority of our athletes are all doing field and throwing and sprinting based events. But we're really proud of the growth coming from maybe 18 to 20 kids back maybe in 2009 to up to 60 kids right now for spring track, 60 plus for spring track. And in winter track, our numbers were about 45 to 50 as well.
Wow,
so,
that's amazing.
you know, what I love about track is we certainly have a lot of elite athletes. At the right time, I'd love to tell you about our elite program because we're doing really well. But what makes track really good, and I tell kids all the time, is that it really mirrors life, right? We don't do cuts to the track program. You are on the track program as long as you have a positive attitude and you work hard and keep getting better every day. Some programs can't do that. What I love about track is kids can come in, work hard and get better, and we announced yesterday we're doing individual goal setting. You know, some kids can't come to a meet and score points, but every kid will have their event and a goal, and they want to see themselves get better every single day. And I think that's really what track brings. It's a high participation sport, and it's a wonderful sport to just keep getting better, as we often do at our own jobs every single day, and just keep working hard. And I tell the kids too, it really mirrors life. You know, I look around here at your office, you have accountants here, you have human resource specialists, you have education directors, you have special education directors. So a track team, well, all of us bring our individual talents to ultimately to a team result. And that's much different where everyone's playing kind of the same thing in other sports. In track, we have such a wide variety of kids doing different stuff, and that's why I'm attracted to coach track. I did a lot of different sports, but that's why I love track.
So I would say, Morgan and Kellen, that means that you're kind of the superintendent of the track and field, right? I'm a superintendent, and I have to manage a variety of people that all have expertise. You are captains of the track and field team, and you have a variety of people that come from all different levels and have all different expertise. How, as a captain, do you, because they're so focused on their individual events, how do you create that team atmosphere? What are some things that you do or have done?
So I think it's just being friendly, just to make sure that people can come to you if they're having trouble with something, if they need critique on their technique in any of their events, and just pushing them to do their best, because you don't want to have a team where they're just kind of going through the motions, and when it comes to the meet, they don't know what to do. So just, especially the underclassmen, just like make sure they know how important track is and what it can do for your body, and just make sure you push them as much as you can, and make sure they can relate to you, to come up to you. I think it helps that both of us have 4 events each, so that we could help them in the sprinting area, as long as maybe some jumping and hurdling as well.
I think the biggest team atmosphere will come from, just like as coaches said, that there's like 60 plus kids in our program, and they're all closely knit. We're a very tight group of friends because we all push each other. We're all very close to each other. We work out together. We run together. We pick each other up when we fall down. It's just like something we all do as a team. And even when it comes to you pushing yourself in individual events to score points for yourself, those points go towards your team. And at the end of the meet or at the end of the day, you have this group score in whether you beat out another town's team or not. And that's what really feels good, is when all your collective points come together and you came in first or second, and you beat out all these other towns and all these other athletes, and you as a team accomplish this great feat.
That's wonderful. It's interesting
well
is
said.
there's plenty of track and field teams with 60 plus kids on them that aren't teams.
Correct.
There are a bunch of individuals running out there, and it's very clear that your team is a team, and a lot of it comes from being approachable, pushing each other, doing things together.
Yeah.
So it's not easy to lead that many people in a group and create the culture so that people can succeed. So that's a great thing.
If I may,
Yep.
about these two, why they're here is they do those things they talked about, but they show up every day on time and they get to work. When I got here, the work ethic wasn't very high in some areas. But people like Morgan and Kellen, the kids, they bring the tide up, and the kids come with them because they're leaders in the weight room. People don't know, we spend 3 days a week, 2 days a week lifting heavily to get strong. Track's about strength and explosion. But they'll watch Morgan doing deadlifts and squats, which aren't fun lifts to do, as well as Kellen, but yet they do it. Kellen will do box jumps, and he'll do them with weights in his hands. That's how these captains elevate the team through example.
So you had mentioned a little while ago that you have some elite
We do.
athletes
Yeah.
in your program. So why don't you tell me a little bit about some of that?
Yeah, and it would be foolish for me to not start with this one individual. I don't want to call her out more than any other athlete because we have some very good ones as well. But we have just one athlete who's just tremendous. Her name is Skylar Goss. She is now a junior. Last winter, she was the state hurdles champion. Previous in the spring to that, she was the state pole vault champion. She tied the Division II state record at 10 feet 6. So last year we hosted the state meet here in the spring. She tied the state record at 10.6. I want to tell you about this meet we had on Tuesday, but while we're talking about Skylar, she pole vaulted 12 feet. That's 1.5 feet above the current Division II record. Doesn't count until the state meet, but she cleared 12 feet on Tuesday. She long jumped 17 feet 1 inches, which is way beyond the qualifying standards. She won the hurdles at 15.3, which is about her personal best time of last year, where she came in second in Division II in the hurdles, and she triple jumped a bad day at 34 feet, which is still a phenomenal jump. So she's just very, very good. But moving on, I have to add both these individuals to kids who are elite performers. Morgan placed 6th in the hurdles in the winter track meet, which is quite an accomplishment for Division II. And Kellen placed, off of memory now, Kellen, I want to say you were 4th in the long jump at the Division State meet. The 4x160 team came in. Let's go back to spring. Last spring, the 4x1 team came in 4th in the Division II state meet, as well as the boys 4x1 team came in 3rd. And at the winter track meet, our 4x4 teams all place in 3rd and 4th. So it's really hard to compete with some of these big schools. We're really a Division III school competing in Division II. But what I love about us is we can't quite catch the Co-Browns yet, who have these national runners, but we're right on their tail. So other names we talk about, Jared Hannon, very, very good at track as an elite performer on the boys' side. Don Bronco's up-and-coming shot putter and thrower for us on the boys' side. On the girls' side, gosh, I could really sit here all day long. But our girls' team is phenomenal. But right now there's Brooke Parody, who is a very good hurdler and sprinter for us. Alana Eschbach and Cheyenne Skinner lead our throws and both score in the state meets. We have an upcomer named Morgan Walsh, who's doing very well in the relays and sprints for us. Kate Serpenat, former basketball player, placed I want to say 5th last year in the state hurdles. So those are some of our top performers. But hope I didn't leave anybody out. Did I, guys? Rachel Romeo on the hurdles is a state level
Yes, exactly.
hurdler.
We have Cassie coming up.
Yeah. So there's a lot, and that's a good thing. While we're on kind of the cool thing, we had a meet on Tuesday. It was at Souhegan High School, and I know you know the numbers. It was against Portsmouth, Souhegan, Milford, and Oyster River. Oyster River is about our size, but Milford, Souhegan, and Portsmouth are about double our size. The girls' team won by 30 points. And the boys came in a close 3rd point, just losing out to Milford and Portsmouth. So that kind of shows where our program is at.
So for people viewing, if they don't understand the divisions, the NHIA, which is the New Hampshire Interscholastic Athletic Association, sets different divisions based on the size of school.
Correct.
Because if you have a very large school, like around here, a Division I is Londonderry and Pinkerton. So when you're at a school of Pinkerton size, almost 3,000 kids, and you're trying to put a track team of 65 people together, it's pretty easy to pull 65 people to have some skill. When you're looking at a school the size of 600, 650 like Pelham, which actually qualifies as a Division III,
Right.
you're talking about not a whole lot of you're talking 10% of your students at the high school.
Right.
So
Yeah.
take 10% of the students at the high school and get them to perform at an elite level. So Division III wasn't tough enough for Pelham, so Pelham decided they wanted to petition up and go to Division II.
Right.
So they're now competing at Division II, which pushes all of you to excel even more, but it looks like it's working out for Pelham.
We're going well. We won't win a state championship, but you know what? We're going to ride on the heels of
You
it.
never know.
Right.
And I know that there is a great feeder program at the middle school
Yes.
as well. They have, I think they had over 70
Yeah.
students come out for spring track.
Yeah, I met with them all yesterday, first time. Tons of
Oh,
kids
yeah.
everywhere out
Yes, there's a ton of them there, and so they're very excited to join your ranks. So you have a big meet coming up here in Pelham. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
there. You guys
What
want to go
is
first?
After you.
Sure. Okay, so last year we had a Pelham Invitational, and it was really successful. We actually, I think we placed third, and a lot of big teams, Division I teams even, come to this meet because we've made a name for ourselves over the past few years. I just started last year, but over the past 5 or so years, we've progressed a lot. So for them to look at us as competition and want to come to our track on a Saturday, and that's pretty important to us. So this year we have almost double the amount of teams, and it's just really good fundraising for the Booster Club, and it pushes us, and it allows the people who don't usually make our track meets, like our friends, to come down and kind of support us and cheer us on. So
Great.
it's a pretty good experience.
A huge point I like to make with the meet tomorrow is that our meet on Tuesday contained four teams,
You were
and
the fifth, yeah.
we were the fifth. And the invitational is going to have
I haven't given you the number yet.
not yet
It's overwhelming. It's 26.
26,
But it's a good thing.
and these are all elite athletes. These are all like 60 plus programs, some of them a little smaller than others and some a little bigger, but this is a huge pool of athletes coming to compete with us, and we have to compete against a vast amount of different talents. And to this is why we push ourselves, is to place ourselves above this and to put ourselves at the top of this kind of competition feels great as a track athlete, and that's a huge point of this invitational.
You should be very proud of that.
Yeah.
So we have 26 teams coming here. Thankfully, we have such a phenomenal facility, the
we
Harris
could've-
Track Field
Sorry, yeah.
Complex. But why don't you tell me what goes into this whole invitational thing, Mr.
I
Mullen,
will,
because I
but-
know you're already starting to panic.
Yeah.
First of all, when is it?
Did you see that? It is this Saturday. Got April 18th. Look at my watch. April 18th. It starts at 9:30 a.m. And there are 26 schools coming, and we could have had 42. That's how the meet has. We had to turn away, and we had to turn away teams. Didn't want to, but you've got to keep it a manageable size so it can be a. We do want to be a competitive event where it goes quickly, so the kids aren't sitting around all day long. But I almost cut you off. That would have been a horrible thing, because I do want to do a call out to the Harris family, because we have a wonderful facility down there. We've been hosting the state meet the past 2 years because it is a great facility. It's a wonderful 8-lane track. It's a wonderful venue. Everything is tight. Everything's put together. Whoever built that facility had track in mind. So my congrats to the Pelham community. Speaking of that, it takes a community to run this event, and I would be having a lot of heartburn and a lot of stress if it wasn't for our wonderful community support and from the parents. I have over 20 parents who have already volunteered to come out and help us run the meet, and that's really important because each team that comes pays an entry fee to come to our meet. In exchange for that entry fee, they want top competition, and they want to be well run and well officiated. So our parents now, we have veterans officials who run the meet very efficiently and run it very well, and that helps us. That's why, quite frankly, the meet has become popular. A great venue and a high turnout from the parents to volunteer. Without these parents volunteering, we couldn't run the meet efficiently, and they volunteer, which doesn't add cost to the program, allowing the Booster Club and the track program to benefit financially from the meet.
That's excellent.
It is.
So now, what do you do with that money?
buy new stuff. Now,
Yeah.
Here's what I will say, and my thanks to you and to Mr. Kress. We have really good training equipment now. We first got here, we had hardly nothing. The Booster was wonderful with us. I had an opportunity to hear that UNH was going to be upgrading their pits. And the old marketing guy that I got in there first and got first dibs on their old pits, which were $30,000 pole vault pits that we got for 75% of that cost, maybe even lower of that cost. But the community had a wonderful investment in that pole vault pit. That was a wonderful thing. We couldn't have these meets without that pole vault pit. But next to some of the program, we have a lot of strength training equipment. We recently got sleds that they're all excited to start using to push sleds around. We have harnesses enough to do 45 kids at one time to run harnesses to build strength. We have upgraded the program tremendously in terms of cages. We were able to get our discus and shot put surfaces resurfaced to be smooth and very high quality. So all of that gets put to good use, and the boosters have been very supportive of that.
So, we do these invitationals to give the students a great opportunity to really push themselves and to excel, and that's wonderful. And the money that goes back in then turns around and just builds the program more,
Right.
and that's the way it should be.
Correct.
So that's great to hear that you've seen that build. Anything else you want to tell me about track and field? And
I basically think we covered its importance,
Mhm.
and I hope that once we graduate, because we're both seniors, that the coaches will be able to have enough talent to kind of keep up the competition. I do want to say that along with Coach Mullen, that Coach N, which is the distance, and then Coach Guanci, he's a jumping coach, they've really helped us a lot. They're always positive. They push us all the time, and they kind of just had faith in me. I came in, I'm like, I've never done track in my life. I'm not going to be able to hurdle. I'm really short. And they were just like, yeah, you're strong enough, you're fast enough, you can do it. And since them pushing me and helping me, I feel like a better athlete. So they kind of put a lot of confidence in me, and I thank them for that.
wonderful.
I'm definitely on board with what Morgan said with our other two coaches. It's a huge team to have only 3 coaches with us, but they manage well and they do very well with us. We all get individual time as well as group time with them, and they share their focus very equally amongst all our athletes, including the elite athletes. There's no bias there to have the elite athletes get more coach time than some of our developing ones. And I think that's just a fantastic way track is run.
That's excellent.
I can't say any better than what they just did, I don't think. All I can say is, and I do let the kids know this, that it's a pleasure I look forward to 3 o'clock coming. Let me say that, because it's a privilege to be able to show up at 3 o'clock and have a group of highly motivated kids. Every coach can have highly motivated kids, but what I really like is they're high-class kids. I don't have a lot of discipline problems. These kids just show up, do their job, and they're some of the absolute best kids in the school. And, I could talk all day about them, but you heard about their college. Where are you going, Kellen?
Riviere.
He's going to be studying pre-med. Morgan's going to be doing athletic training. Just 2 very highly intelligent kids. So what a privilege to come down at 3 o'clock and work with good kids who work hard, are positive, and are going to go great places in life.
Well, and our mission in Pelham School District is to inspire success one mind at a time. And I think that you two as captains have already inspired me. I am sure you will continue to inspire your team for the rest of the year. So I appreciate you coming out and sharing with us all that you've done.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us for another edition of Pelham School District Today.